Good morning, Maurillia.
Good morning, Donald.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm even better now that we were able to meet up again to do part two
Oh,
of
bless.
this
Yes.
wonderful story of yours. Yeah.
Yes.
So great. Thanks again. So we're gonna go
No
straight
problem at
into
all.
part two. Part one left us in Germany, somewhere in
Yes.
Germany, and you were there and you were doing various things, preparation for one thing or another. And I think, well, we're going to start there and see where you're going in terms of Iraq and all those things that you mentioned. So,
Yes.
yeah, we left off with you not going to Oman, but after that came up the Iraq War.
Yes. 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 I ended up after not going to Oman, sorry. I then made arrangements to go home for a bit of a holiday because,
Yes.
as I said, I wasn't home for at least 5 years. Just so I went home, but they sort of gave me a heads up that the war in Iraq may eventually kick off, and our regiment at the time was one of the chosen regiments to go, one of the brigade regiments to go. So they
Okay.
gave me the sort of
Mm,
heads up, although I was going on holiday, but that was
mm.
booked prior to advance. But yeah,
So,
so
so, so how was going home for you? Because I've not been back home for however many years, and there
oh
you
my
are,
God,
an
I
upstanding
was
soldier in the British Army.
I was excited. I couldn't wait to see my mom and dad and oh my God, but I wanted to surprise them. So all I did is that I sort of told my dad, and I didn't tell my mom, but
Wow.
somehow he he couldn't keep the secret. So when he had to come and pick me up, he picked me up from the airport, and all he told her is that I'm just going out for an errand. I'm going on an errand. I'm
Yeah.
gonna run an errand. But he said little things, but when she saw me turn up and just walk towards and just squeeze and hug her, she went, I knew it, I knew it. Because he cannot keep a secret.
Right,
He's
right,
like,
right.
errands. What errand he have to run and without me? You know what I mean? And he's like, don't worry, don't worry. So she said she just little things he started to do and prep and buy and all of that. She's like, but
Yeah,
he don't
great,
normally go out and
great.
buy these things
Yeah, yeah,
unless
yeah.
it's for
Yeah,
Maria.
yeah,
But
yeah. So what
I
about
couldn't,
your other sisters on that?
Um, well, the sisters, I met them and said hi. I sort of linked up with my mother who brought me into the world. No matter how it is,
Mm,
she's still my mother. And
mm.
but it was just a matter of just more linking up with my support network. You know,
Yes,
I did
yes,
go and visit them. I did see them, but I just wanted to remain positive and
yes, yes,
not
yes, yes,
go back to where I was and
yeah,
mentally, emotionally, because I felt like I had grown from that stage
yes. And you're bound
of
to have grown because of what you've
of
done.
negativity.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah.
and up till today, she's never said, I'm proud of you or anything. So
Oh,
I'm like, if that's the way, they say
yeah,
I've learned in therapy that some mothers just, whatever trauma they went through, or
yeah.
whatever the case is with her and me, where I am concerned as her child, she just never was able to show any
Yes,
of
yes, yes,
emotion,
yes.
and
Well,
everything is just
on the
negative. So
on the
yeah.
positive side, you were sharing your experiences with your dad and your sisters and what you'd done, and you were in Germany now and all that. So how did they
Yes.
take that?
Um. Oh, they found it strange.
Did they?
They, yeah, because it was like a dream for me. So my dream became a reality. That
Right,
that that little Morelia, 7-year-old Maurillia got and was living her dream at 28, 29 years old. So
Wow.
to actually be alive and testify that once you pursue your dreams in life, it can be possible. And not
Wow.
can be possible, it is possible because I am a testimonial of that.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. So you spent your time and then you returned back to
Yeah,
Germany.
I spent my time, but coming to the end of my time, I got the call. I got
Oh,
the
all
call.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. My mom got the call while we were on a break away from home. We went to our beach house and beach hut, down on the coast, and I went to do my regular morning exercise and run, and just to
Mm,
relax and you know
yeah.
enjoy the weather and the sea and stuff. And when I came back, I saw her waiting. She's never on the beach waiting for me the way she was, with her face looking all. And it's like, what's wrong? I thought something was wrong with Daddy and that we had to leave. But
Mm,
then she said to me, she went, "Your boss called." I went, "What you talking about?" She said, "Your boss called. Your commanding officer." I said,
mm.
"Why you what you talking about? What you stop make Are you serious?" She went, "Would I make a joke like that? And how would I know to tell you that is your commanding officer who called?" And I went, "Okay." I said, "What does she want?" Um, she looked at me and she just broke down and she said, um, "They want you to come back." I said, "Come back where?" And she said, "You need to get back to England as soon as you can because you're going to war." I
Oh
said,
my goodness.
and I just grabbed and held her so tight. And she was like, "You see, the same thing I didn't want you to do, and now you're going off to war." And I said, "Babes, let's just calm down. Let's hear what they have to say first." And then, so what she said is that they were calling my cousin back to speak to me, and to find out what's going on and to let me know all the details and stuff of the tour, and what I need to do and how they want me back to start training and stuff. So they called and said, so done. It was my officer commanding, so my OC. She called and she said, "Hi, Private Simpson. Um, I'm so sorry that I spoke to your mother earlier on, but as you know, when before you left, prior to leaving on leave, we got the news that we may be going to Iraq, and things has gotten worse. It's kicked off, and our regiment, our brigade has gotten the green light that we are deploying and such time, and we need you to come back to start your training, your tour training, and we need you to get back here as soon as you can." And I was like, "Okay, Mom, thank you very much. I will try and see what I can do with flights, and I will try and see what I can do if I can put it up." But in the end, Donald, I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave her or Daddy the way that was. So I just stayed. I stayed. When they rang back, I told them I was unable to get a flight. I just did try, but it was too expensive. And when I looked at how many days I had left on my leave, I just decided, I made the command decision to just stay with them, spend the time with them, and then go back on my original flight. So that's exactly what I did.
So
And
that was good in
yeah,
that sense that you were able to spend the allotted time or the time you had
exactly,
with your relatives, really.
exactly,
Because
yeah,
as you
yeah.
to leave them under those conditions
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, Tony. So yeah, so I told my mother, I before I left, I said, "Well, I'll be going off to war when I get back, and I wish you the best, and take care." And then Granny was around, bless her. She's like, just stay safe, please, just stay safe. Don't let them send you in the front line. Da, 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 da. I was like, yes, Granny, and told the sisters, well, goodbye and whatever. So yeah, no, it was a journey. It was good, but in the sense, it was a mixed emotion on the exit, on the time that I left. But yeah, so I got
I
back.
can fully, I can fully. Well, I say
Yeah,
fully. I mean, I've not had to do that myself, but
yeah,
to be able to leave your loved ones in the
yes,
Caribbean as well, so far away from home,
yeah,
under those circumstances that you're going off to
exactly.
war. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it's very hard on both sides.
yeah. And when she, when we wanted, it's just, you just sense this silent, normally she'd be, just take care and keep doing it. I'm here for you, praying for you, and daddy, and we are here, and we're not, we support you and everything. But it was just this silence, this silence
Yes, yes. Was that
of
including your father? Was he?
daddy. He was more, because she couldn't say, he said,
Oh,
because he sort of felt the mood change as well when we was heading up to the airport, and she wasn't speaking. I told her, don't worry, I'll drive last time, drive them, because whenever I'm home, that's it, I'm the driver,
yeah,
so I
yeah, yeah.
drive them around, we go out, we do things together as a family.
Yes. Yes.
So I said, don't worry, babe, I'll drive to the airport, and
Mm.
just spend the last time with
Wow,
them and stuff. But
wow, wow,
she
wow.
just couldn't express. It was just silence. And when she held me, it was like I mean, every time she hugged me, I feel it, but it was just this this moment of, just stay safe, please, just stay safe no matter what.
Mm.
And that's
Mm.
all she could have said. And when she held me and she said, just stay safe. so
Yeah.
so no, I
So,
knew. I knew.
so you then found yourself back in Germany after however many hours flying.
Yep.
There you were back at unit. So what happened next?
Well, came back the Sunday, and then straight into training Monday morning. To do all the training, weapon handling. You do exercise. You go on the range, live firing exercise. Then you do NBC. Neurological, biological, chemical warfare training. Then I did first aid. So I did everything. So I did all the training up
Mhm.
to what I needed. And then after about, that was, when did we leave? That was coming, that, yeah, to summer. So we left in March. So I came back February. Yeah. And we left in March. We left in March.
Right.
So
So
after
shortly
about
after.
a month. Yeah, after about a
Yeah.
month.
So when you
Yeah.
deployed, how long was the deployment for?
It was for 5.5 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah, 5.5 months for the
In
first tour.
in the middle of the war.
Well, we were the first ones in. We were the
Oh,
first ones in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when it
wow.
kicked off, we were the first ones in 2003. So yeah, we were the first ones in. So
So
we
there
had
you
to.
are. There you are
Pardon?
as there you are as a young lady in with your ambition of seven, joining the army. I don't think
Yes.
you ever thought at any one moment that you would find yourself in a position like that.
No, no, because for me, at the age of 7, when I saw the Queen and
Mm.
saw the soldiers of the Defense Force marching and saluting and stuff, I thought that was what the army was about. Marching and saluting her, and dressing up and
Yeah,
doing
yes.
parades and stuff,
Mm.
and that's all I saw at the age of 7. So now at 20, 28 or 29, somewhere there, to actually know that war exists, and now I am actually active, in active duty, in a different country to defend world, country, and human rights. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
How
something
do you
else.
feel arriving on the front line and, you know, the first like engagement, how did you feel inside?
Um, all I was thinking about was home, Donald, and getting back to them safe. That's all I wanted to do.
That's your relative back in Trinidad, yeah?
Yeah, I just wanted to do what I need to do,
Wow.
be safe, make sure whoever is with me is safe, protect
Mm,
them as much as I could.
mm.
Let my training be my guide.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
play a hero, but do what
Mm,
I need to do to stay alive
mm,
and get
mm.
back home to them safe. That's all I was thinking. Yeah.
So how was that 5.5 months for you?
Um, it was tough. It was tough. Um, I was actually at the front line a couple of times where I had close encounters with Saddam's army. We had proper fighting, fighting it out as in face to face combat,
Mm.
um, at the front line where I didn't realize I got shot in the head 7 times, but my helmet saved me.
Really?
Yes, I only realized when I went back on camp these holes in my helmet and my helmet cover, and yeah, and realized that those were bullets. They were
So,
shots fired.
oh my
Yes,
goodness. So
you know.
you were just right on the front line as a female. Were there any other female with you? Um,
Um, no, between my section, I didn't have any other females with myself. It was just me and the guys
so
in
you
the
were
front
right up
line.
there alongside
Right
the
there,
guys.
yeah, with the black watch and all the yeah, right up there with the guys doing the business. Yeah.
That was a
Proper.
real close encounter then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
What
my
it
God.
definitely was. Because we were taking on rungs at our heads, rungs at our feet. Yeah, we were
My
taking on
goodness.
a lot of wrongs. We did get hit a lot, but we managed.
Mm.
No one was you know
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
badly injured, and we managed to evade the enemy at a massive
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
massive loss. So that was good. That was good.
Yeah, so you know what people don't understand, a lot of people, and they can't understand, is defending your nation for whatever the reason is, because you sign and sign on the dotted line. But when you go on the front line and face the enemy in such close encounter, it's very difficult to tell people what that really feels and means and feel like. It's very difficult, isn't it? And
Yes, it
this,
is difficult because when you come back and when I came back home that first time,
mm,
I knew that the country it hit the country hard.
mm,
That first Iraq war, you know, um,
mm,
and
wow.
parents wasn't happy that their child was going frontline, but they thought was only the way how when I came back home in England to
Mm,
hear the reaction of the public, they all thought was just men because
wow.
the lives that were lost were mostly men, but
Yes.
they thought was only men at the front line,
Mm, mm,
and there
mm.
I was,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this, news that no, you got to change your statement. I say, because I did it. I,
yeah, 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 yeah. So
I,
you talk
I did
about,
it,
yeah.
I did it.
So
So,
you talk about the first time.
yeah,
So there were other times.
yeah, two other times, two other
Wow.
times, two
Oh
other
my
times.
goodness.
So
And
yeah, that first time was that and driving through a minefield. So yeah, it had some real life threatening experiences on that first time, and then the second time was when I was blown up. I
oh
went
my
then
goodness.
for 6 months, a full 6 months. The second time, so that was tough.
So
God
so
hit.
so so when you say you were blown up, what happened
Yeah,
there?
the camp got hit. We were taking on a lot of rocket mortars and external fire from target practice from the Iraqians and Afghanis because they had merged together, So
Oh,
some of them came, some of them were were there with the Taliban, were part of Saddam's sort of army at the time. So yeah, they were really putting, and so that was the time when we lost a lot of lives, that they
oh
they
my
gave
goodness.
they gave the ultimate sacrifice of life,
So you were very
outside.
fortunate then, because you said you got a
Yeah,
mortar attack and you
yeah,
were
we
brought.
had to. And I was lucky to see it coming in, see them coming in, and I had the time to say was incoming, incoming, as we trained to do. And I
Mhm.
hit the floor, and then when I hit the floor, there was darkness. That was darkness. I thought I was dead. Um, I couldn't move my faith, but I was alive. But I thought I was waiting on judgment. When I realized I was in darkness, I was still alive, but just in darkness.
So
And
were you covered over with bits and
yes,
pieces?
yes, yes, I was. So the blast wall fell on me and buried me. Yeah, buried me over. So
How long was that for you were
hours,
buried?
hours. The guys didn't know how long. They couldn't really, up till today. They can't really tell me a time, but I was there for a very long time.
Oh
Yeah,
my
because I
goodness.
wasn't even sure that they knew I was there, or they knew I was outside the guard room. When I came off duty, I was now heading into the guard room to hand in, my rounds, and get checked off, and go for rest, because I had duty the following day. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I wasn't sure of being that. The only time I had regret since I've served in the 13 years is that I couldn't tell Florian and Daddy goodbye. That was the only thing
Wow.
I
Wow.
studied. So then I reached out to them by a song my mother used to sing, and I sang His Eyes on the Sparrow, and I know He watches over me, hoping that as I sang that song in my last hours, that I thought it was, that they will know that I love them and I was thinking of them, you know.
Wow.
So
That's
that was,
amazing. And
yeah.
and then you were ultimately freed from the
Yes, they
rubbles and things.
got me out, the friends, and then I saw light. I thought was heaven, but no, I started to hear voices, and they would say, hold on, Simi, hold on. We're gonna dig you out," because Simi was my name. They used to call me for my
Yeah,
surname.
yeah, yeah.
So Simi, hold on, we're not gonna leave you. We're gonna dig you out. We're gonna dig you out. And they did. And they did.
Oh my goodness. So were you badly injured at the time, or?
No, it was just minor scratches, and
Mm,
mental scars.
oh
Mental
my
scars.
goodness.
Now
So
I
we did.
know. Now I know it's mental scars. I didn't know
Yes,
then.
at
I
the
didn't know
time, at
back
the
then.
time.
Yeah.
So so even though that was terrible, you were really
Yeah.
one of the fortunate ones in that sense, because you lost a lot of other
Yes.
comrades.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was on the second tour, and you went back another tour.
Yes. On the last tour, then I went again, and that was for 9 months. Where we
Nine
were
months.
9 months. Yeah, that was the last official tour of Iraq. Iraq up Telek 13, where we were closing down and handing over Iraq officially to the Iraqians and the government. So although they left different diplomats to support them, as
Mm,
a supporting element. But the fact that we were going to be there 24/7 as a
mm,
unit, and as
mm.
units and brigades, we were about to let them run and do the necessarily themselves, because we were training them as well to deal with
Mm.
situations and circumstances themselves. So
So
so that
the last tour was far less dangerous than the previous ones then.
It was. However, we had some close encounters at the gate, and we had some suicide bombers hitting hitting the gate, and I had a personal experience where it had this on duty at the guard room. It had one of their one of their senior fathers, or who they is like a priest or whoever they respect, was, was working in the cookhouse. They, we hired them to help us through
Yes.
it, the time. So he was working, and his one of the girls was what that was with him, and was his daughter, who came to help with serving in the cookhouse and cleaning and maintaining the
Mm.
camp and stuff. you know um had a vest on them. They had a vest, had a suicide vest in the guard room.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, but God is so awesome that the only person he had felt comfortable with was me. And that is not known under their regime, because they don't respect woman to that
Yes.
level.
Yeah.
You know, they
Mm.
normally just commune with men, you
Yes.
know. And for some reason, he just wanted me, to discuss things. And the daughter was there translating, and I was saying, do you want to destroy your life? I know you believe in Allah, you believe in God, but this right? Do you actually want to kill all these innocent people? You know, and we were there communing with this suicide vest.
Oh
And
my
all he
God.
wanted was just me, in the guard room there, with, and had to make an announcement, of, obviously, we had codes, different codes. So it
Yes.
was a code red, no code black at the time, code black. And yeah, so everybody had to get ready. Everybody were, armed and ready to go and do whatever. But the main secure bit was the guard room, to make sure that nobody was in how many distance from the
Yes.
blast, if he decided to
Yeah.
destroy everything. But in the end, he just took it off, disarmed it, and and praised Allah, and said thank you for
Oh
understanding,
my
and
God.
for discussing. Yeah, so those experiences were life-changing experiences. And you wonder, you know why me, you know why me. But when you think of how much you've done, and what you've accomplished, and why, for some reason, God has me alive after everything I've been through, Donald, I cannot help but just say thank you, God. I just can't help just to be grateful for just
Oh
life,
my
you know,
goodness.
life,
And
and living my
yeah,
dream. I mean, living my dream for 13 years, given the
and
opportunity to do
at,
that.
at this point, I've got to come in probably even earlier than I wanted to bring it in, because when I heard you talk at the funeral, Peter Brown funeral,
Yes,
about your experience, first of all, as a soldier,
yes,
and then talk about soldiers who look like you,
yes.
I got it.
Mm.
And people got it. When you first
Yeah,
mentioned soldier, we thought, well, but when you mentioned soldiers that look like you,
yes,
and then female, I got it.
yeah,
But when you mention about your time served in Iraq,
yeah,
I mean, it was nowhere near what you said just now, what
yeah.
you just explained to us. But the place, I felt goosebumps you talking about that, because
Mm.
there you were as a female encountering that sort of thing on the front line. It was very powerful.
Yeah,
And then you sang.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God,
yeah,
how good was that? So
yeah,
that's what you're talking about, that the Lord had for you. That
yeah,
blessing where you could
yeah,
bless others with that voice of yours. My
yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
So I know we're going slightly off thing, but we're going to look at the real positives here. When did you know that you had such a, wonderful voice? Was it forever and
Um,
a day?
No, it was from birth actually. So when four of us was born, um, mother could sing, and eventually when we started to get a bit older, I remember she teaching us to sing some notes at the age of 3. So
Right.
from 3, she sort of had us there, and she would just say sing after me, and have us there, 4 of us there, singing. And my last sister, she was about 1.5, so she, we 2 years apart, so she was just little, she was
Mm.
probably coming up to about a year. So yeah, darling, so she taught us, little
Wow.
little voice, little notes. She taught us
Mm.
notes. And then
Wow.
eventually, as we got older, she put us up to sing in church. Um, while we were like I remember, yeah, probably about a year after, because she said, well, she wouldn't do it all the time. So one Sunday we will do it. Next Sunday she would do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Okay.
we
Okay.
started to sing around. I was 4. I was 4. Yeah. So
Wow.
say 4 of us
Wow.
were there. So little things she would teach us. So as
Yes.
we got older, it became a norm. So we would
Yes. Yes. Yes.
this and we would sing all the time in the house. We would try different songs or just sing random or make things up and just sing
Yeah.
different choruses and stuff. So yeah, darling, that is what we grew up doing, just singing.
Well,
So
blessings to your
so
mom. You
no,
know,
no, no. Yeah. So
for nurturing you guys into that, because it has brought so much blessing
thank you.
to
Thank you,
other
darling.
people, and I'm speaking
Thank you,
for
darling.
myself,
Thank you.
and I've
Yeah,
spoke to many others. So
thank
absolutely
you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So the rest of your career then in the army, how
Yes.
did that go?
Um, I came back and then got promoted over the years. I got to
Mm-hmm.
corporal, to full corporal. Then eventually I got back to Germany because I came back to UK
Mm-hmm.
for 3.5 years, 4 years after that tour. My last tour, the last tour of Iraq. Um, and that was in 2008. Yeah, 2008, 9. Yeah, beginning of 2009, and then got posted to Germany
Mm-hmm.
again, but at a different unit as a corporal, as a
Mm-hmm.
junior NCO. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it started off okay. But again, when you in an environment without people looking like you,
Yes.
in your regiment, and you are the only one, it becomes tough, and people don't take the time to understand or get to know their soldiers, or know, who you are as a person. They
Mm.
just want to be ignorant and treat you as such. And it just had some moments where I had to defend myself as a person, and as a soldier, and as a female, and it wasn't accepted gracefully. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
So it affected me going any further. But then we got again. I went to a regiment where they were part of the brigade heading to Afghanistan. So training for Afghanistan changed everything, because the focus wasn't on me per se. It was
Mm-hmm.
on the regiment and getting things ready to deploy to Afghanistan, up Herrick 11. And yeah, so that sort of changed the focus of my career, because I was looking at going up to sergeant, going up to the next level, and
Right.
possibly, actually enjoying the rest of my, my service, because I was coming up to my half year point, my 12-year point already. So
Mm-hmm.
by then I was thinking, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this 22 is not looking, I just have 10 more. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not looking too bad,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
are going good. I'm promoted now. I'm working hard. I'm doing the courses per such, and to doing this tour with probably even help
Mm.
especially if I'm in a command role. It's gonna help with my, with my prospect moving forward to the next rank up, which is sergeant.
Mm.
But then I don't know. I don't know. I up till today, I still have to find out from. I have to speak to, somebody who probably might be able to translate my journey. Then I got into my accident. Um, After
Okay.
training, I was in a major car accident in uniform going to work, and this German guy ran a ran a light and took me off the pavement with his car.
Oh
So
my goodness.
he ruptured my whole left leg. So he mashed up my femur
My
totally.
God.
And yeah,
So
so
sorry, sorry. Were you driving or were you in a
no,
walking?
I was riding to work. I was riding. I was
My
riding on
goodness.
a bicycle, yeah, to work, and he took me off the pavement. And
Oh
yeah,
my
when
goodness.
I woke up, I saw the wheel tire was by my head, and yeah, and I was underneath the car, um,
No.
ready to be smashed. Yeah, yeah, ready to be smashed. But there I was alive, and I jumped up saying I'm okay because it had other soldiers going to work as well. So they saw the whole thing and they tried to pick me up, and I said no, I'm okay. And I was in the middle of the road, so they tried to get me on the pavement, and that's when I knew I just collapsed. I couldn't walk. Then I couldn't feel my legs. It started to swell the size of a balloon in my trousers, in my uniform. So yeah, then I was taken to A&E, and they had to cut my pants, and then I saw how swollen my leg was, and the damage. Yeah, so it was my whole femur had been ruptured. So yeah,
Oh my goodness.
so
Wow.
that
So
was
so was that an
that
end to your career then? Did they decided
that
or
started
what?
and headed to be an end of my career. Correct. I had surgeries for it that did a certain amount. I had physio at Headley Court for it as well. That did a certain amount, but then I needed further surgery um, because my nerves were very badly damaged, and the person the colonel, the nurse specialist I saw while in service, told me that I needed further surgery and that my pain and the feelings I have is not in my head. It is actually happening, and my nerves are not working properly, and they need to do a bit more investigation with my leg and do further surgery. And I will need further surgery for it. But in the end, they discharged me without that surgery I needed. And
Really?
said, yes, and they promised me, don't worry, Corporal Simpson, we're going to look after you. Um, and all you need to do is sign up with your GP. So I did that.
So so
Um,
so 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 what they're saying then you're no longer able to function as a soldier, so you have to leave the army. Is that what was said to you? Or
yes, yes, they said unfortunately, you have to start looking for a different career because it looks that you are going to the decision might be to medically discharge you from the army. So you need to start looking at a different career and doing
did,
something.
so did you get a full medical discharge?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Mhm. Mhm.
But on the time that I did that and I had to have the surgery, that I had to have, they took my rank off of me. They took my rank, and
Why?
why? They said I didn't complete all my training as a corporal. Um, so they took it the day before the surgery.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
they took my rank before, so I went back down to lance corporal. And yeah, so
That
then I had
that
the
that
surgery.
that was sad.
Yes, yes,
Considering what you'd faced. in
Yes,
comparison to thousands of other soldiers. You know,
exactly.
Iraq 3 times, Afghanistan, and wherever else. And in the snip of a moment, I mean, I'm not going into the wheres and whys and all that sort of thing, but just to take it off you like that, I just believe that you earned that
Yes, I did earn it.
many
Did
times over.
I did earn it, and the fact remains that it had again it had other soldiers who didn't earn it and couldn't have done what I did, but
Mm,
they got to keep theirs
my
without
goodness.
without finishing any sort of training, but yet still they got signed off.
Is that right?
Correct. Yes, correct. And I know
My,
some of them personally. So again, it boiled down to me, my face, who I was, you know, not fitting between all these faces that doesn't look like me, as well as wasn't me, you
oh
know,
my
and
goodness.
and what I delivered and what I gave was not appreciated again, you know. So I said that is where again my career in if I had to complete my career, I had to do it with people who actually appreciate what I could have offered and what I did offer. That's why I
Mm,
got up to the rank of corporal, because when I served at a different unit under different bosses, they totally saw my knowledge, they saw what I bought, they saw my
mm,
commitment, they saw my dedication. That's why they gave me that second rank, you
wow,
know.
wow. Do you know, this is just such a story that people need to hear about, your circumstances, because, a lot of people have no idea what people like you have gone through and to suffer. And right now, when you look at the fact that you'd face the enemy under those circumstances, and then you just travel along the road and then they got taken out by a car.
Exactly.
It's such
Taken.
a, it's, you know,
Yes, those are good. Those are good words, Donald. Taken out. Yeah, taken
wow,
out. Yeah,
my
taken out.
goodness. Right.
But
So you left you had to leave the army, no choice. And
yes, got
in that,
medically discharged
yeah.
in November 2013 after 13 years service. Um,
How
and
did you feel at the time? Because from age 7, you wanted to join the
yeah,
military and become a soldier.
I
What did
felt
you feel?
I felt a failure. I felt I failed. I failed the family. I failed Florian and Daddy. I failed myself because I was doing it. It was always doing it for them and me. We were a team, a better life, my life, building a future, knowing, achieving greater than what everybody said I couldn't, was doing all of this for me and them, and
Yeah,
proving that I could deliver. But I just felt I failed. I failed, and then I blamed myself for everything. I blamed myself. Why didn't I go to work late that day? Why did I want to always be on time? Why didn't I just why
yeah.
why was I there at that moment? Why? And
Mm,
I
mm.
asked myself all these questions, Donald.
And
And sometimes it's
when I think
pops
of
up,
your journey, when I think
Yeah.
of your journey, when you from age 7 and always maintaining the fact that you wanted to be a soldier, and then you came over to England at Heathrow as opposed to London.
Yes, yes,
and,
yes. My
then you
my greatest decision. Yeah, not Heathrow, London is London, England. Yes, yes.
and
I
then
tell
and,
you, man,
and then
I
within
was so
days, I should
scared that
say,
day. But yeah,
within days of being with your auntie,
yeah.
you made it all the way up to, was
All
it
the way.
Edgware or wherever it was, and
Yep,
signed on
that's
the
right.
dotted line.
Yep, signed.
And then
Yeah,
there you were,
yep.
your career cut short after
I
doing
know.
all that.
I know. I know. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I feel. I feel your pain. I can't say I'd imagine that being there, fully, but I really feel that because I can sense the long-term
Yeah,
ambition of achieving
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and to have it curtailed just like that. Oh my
Just like
goodness,
yeah, just
goodness. So there you are. You had to leave the army. Did that run smoothly, or how did that go?
um no, they they virtually wanted to kick me out because they kept telling me um they needed their single room back, but I had nowhere to live. I had nowhere to live. I needed surgery and I was just waiting. Um, Nothing was happening. At the time, I was chasing things up, and things wasn't happening. But then they told me I needed to leave. So I was homeless, lived in my car for a bit. And then my
Lived in
cousin,
your car.
yeah, lived in my car because I applied to Hague Housing at the time, back in 2013. And I said, I'm about to get medically discharged and I have nowhere to live. I would like to apply for housing. And they asked me, one of the questions was, do I have any family in England? And I put cousins, and they said, well, you're not homeless enough.
Is that what they said?
Yes, on the
So,
phone.
there
Yeah,
you are, having served Queen and country on the front line,
yes,
and
yeah.
and they're telling you you're not homeless enough. I
Homeless
mean,
enough because I had the cousins, and if it's anything, if I want to live anywhere, I can go and live with them.
my goodness.
So yeah, I wasn't homeless enough. So yeah, I didn't call my cousin because she had just gotten pregnant. She had already two children, two husbands. So then they were in a two-bedroom house, so no room for me, and she was pregnant with baby, and yeah. So I was
So,
just there, like in
so
my car.
they didn't even bother to ask the question as to whether or not
No,
your cousin could
no,
accommodate you and
no,
all of that.
no, didn't even bother. So then I stayed in my car for a bit. I stayed on friends' couches for a bit. And then my cousin got wind of it. And when she asked me, so Rilla, where you living? Wait. I said, oh, I'm staying in my car. She said, what? She said, Rilla, why are you in your car? I said, because I have nowhere to live. I said, I'm staying by some friends, on their couch. But I said, I just feeling too horrible. So yeah. And she's like, why they not supporting you with housing? I said, because they said I'm not homeless enough because I've got you in England and I've got you, my cousin, in England. So then they said I'm not homeless enough because I've got you. So I could just come and live with you. And she
My
was like,
goodness.
are you serious? I said, yes, I am very serious. So then she said, well, Rilla, we make it work. You're not going to stay another day in your car, so come up and stay. So I did stay a couple months with her, and then I finally got a release officer and a PRO, and she was determined to get me somewhere to live, and she did, because at the time we had the Olympic Flats in East Village in Stratford. um, the government had joined forces with a housing association, a veterans housing association at the
Oh yeah.
time, back in
Okay.
2014. And they said they will give them half the houses for veterans who doesn't have any family or support,
Mm,
housing
mm.
support. And my recovery officer put my name forward, and I was successful. But then that was another 2-year wait again. So,
Wow.
so I was successful, but I didn't get it until till late 2014. So yeah,
Wow.
it was a challenge. Everything, and yet still I was still waiting on the surgery that they promised that they're going to
Mm.
look after me, and they never did. The army never did. So
So the surgery then, because when I first met you, so to speak, saw you at the funeral that we mentioned earlier on.
Yes.
You talked about that surgery upcoming, and that has happened.
Yes, it has happened. It has happened. My spinal surgery has happened.
And
And
how was it? How was it?
um well, to the surgeon, it was successful. It was
Hmm.
good. Um so now it's just time to know how it responds. So now I've got wires. My spine is wires, contains 4 wires in
Mm.
order to assist my left side of my body to send signals of movement, my nerves, to assist my nerves. And I've got a battery in my right gluteus to assist and send signals to my spine in order to assist me to move my
Are,
legs.
are you
So
able to make any steps with now?
At the minute, I'm able to make small steps. Yes,
Hmm.
small steps that I wasn't able to make in what 10, 12 years. So
Mm.
so yeah, it's I'm getting stronger, getting better. God
Mm.
has been good. God has been
Yeah,
good.
yeah, 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 yeah. So,
Yeah.
I listened to your experience in the army and being such a, forthright person wanting to achieve your ambition. What do you think now about the army?
Um, they lack integrity. They lack integrity, and that is one of our core values. They lack it. They lack it massively. And unfortunately, what they show the world that the army is only Caucasian and male and
Wow,
Caucasian. That's
wow,
my personal feeling towards them now, and because they failed me miserably.
my
All the
goodness.
promises of looking after me, they never did, never
So,
looked up.
these are strong questions because I mean, if somebody, relatives or not, young person come to you and say, "I'm thinking of joining the military," and in this case, maybe the army, what would you say to that young person?
I will ask them some very serious but pertinent questions, as in, do you think you have the mindset to be a soldier?
Right. And
Because
you can expand on that, obviously, to
yes,
make them
it takes a
understand what you mean.
mindset.
Yeah.
Exactly. It takes a mindset. It
Mm.
takes more than just, oh, it's a good career. No,
Mm.
no. You wouldn't make it. You would be swallowed up with just going in and saying, oh, I'm joining because it's a good career. No, I'm not saying that it's not. It is
Mm.
a good career. But
Mm.
however, you got to have a mindset in order to cope with the army. I
Mm.
know things have changed in the last 10, I mean, since I've been discharged, so 13, being 23, so last 10 years, I'm sure things have changed. And it's, as they keep telling me, it's a different army to when I joined back in 2001, you know,
Mm.
with
Mm.
being called all the racist names under the sun, you know.
Mm.
I'm sure it's definitely this 23 years on. I would have
Mm.
been finishing my career this year February would have been my
Wow.
last my last year in the army, you know.
Wow.
So for me, yeah,
Mm.
that is the questions I'm gonna ask. Do you think you have the mindset to join the British Army? And
Mm.
according to their response, I say, okay, how much of that mindset are you willing to sacrifice in order to achieve your goals? That will be my next question.
Wow.
Because it have a bit of yourself you need to
Mm.
sacrifice in
Mm.
order to achieve where you want to be. Because that piece is what you have to give
Mm.
to the organization. The piece where you have to deny sometimes self what you want to do and do what you have to do in
Yes.
order
Yes.
to complete and to have a career. So that is the piece. Are you willing, in whatever answer you give me, are you willing? How much of that mindset are you willing to sacrifice in order to have your career?
Because, all what you've gone through, you must have gone through some really serious low points.
Yes, yes. I had reached a point of planning my own suicide, planning my own death.
Oh my
I have,
goodness.
yes. I called mommy and daddy and said goodbye. Um, I called daddy and I said, Daddy, I don't want to be here anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. I'm just too tired. And I had enough. I had enough.
Wow.
I don't think I can make it. I want to make it, but I can't. I've been praying to die. And God, I don't know if he's hearing me, but I think he's hearing me, but I think he's laughing at me. Because
I,
he
I
doesn't.
can't even imagine receiving a phone call like that from your child. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even, what went on in his mind. I mean, hearing his daughter talk to him like that and being so far away as well. I guess it was a remote phone call. I mean,
Yeah. And then
and
he said,
mommy,
yes,
wow.
she was sleeping and he went and woke her up, you know, and he put me on speaker and he said to me, he said, "You're not going anywhere. Stop it. You're not going anywhere. I don't understand. I don't know how tired you are, but I know you're tired. But daughter, you're not going anywhere." And the first thing he did, he prayed for me.
Oh my goodness.
He prayed for me, and then he said, "Speak to your mother." And she came on the phone. And she said, "What is this Winston telling me that you, what? Maurillia, you are not a selfish person. You are the least selfish person I have ever met in my life. We are praying for you to live, and you praying to die, and you want to kill yourself and go to telling God you willing to go to hell than to live and fight." And I said, "I'm just tired. You don't know how it feels like. I'm just tired. I'm just tired." And all this time, I'm talking to them. I'm on the balcony already, waiting,
No.
waiting to just let go.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh my
And at the
goodness.
time, we had we had storm warnings, so they were telling everybody to stay inside. We had winds of whatever gale was coming out through the south of the river, south of the Atlantic was coming through. And we did have storms, houses blew over, roofs was blown off and stuff, different particles and things were bent and cars were flipped and everything. So we really had it bad. So I was just waiting for my turn for it to just blow me off, you know?
Wow.
And then it's like
Wow.
if I just felt a still moment, Donald, and the wind didn't blow. It just didn't blow. I stood up there and I just leaned forward, and it's like if I couldn't fall. Donald, I could not fall. I was there ready to go. I could not fall, Donald. And when that happened, I just heard my in my spirit, this thing is bigger than me. I need some help. I really need some help.
And was there were there anybody close to you at the time that may have
No,
sensed what was
I
going
didn't.
on?
I didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew. But when I came off the balcony, and I realized it was bigger than me, and I really need some help, my phone rang. By this time, I'd already hung up with Daddy and Florine and
Yeah, yeah,
ready to
yeah, yeah,
go on. So my phone rang. So I thought it was Daddy trying to bring back to see if I did it, if I didn't. But it was a friend of mine. And she said to me, and this was early hours, about 7:30, quarter to 8 in Donald,
yeah.
Monday morning. I ready to go. And she called and she said, "Hi, Maurillia. You just passed across my mind, and I just need to call because it's a long time we haven't spoke and I want to know how you're going.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
it just came across my mind and I said before I start my day in the office, let me call and just see how you're going. And I
What was
went,
your what was your response to her?
I said, are you serious? She said, yes. She said, just this moment. I said, before I start my day, let me call and ask Maurillia how she's going. And I told her, I said, Michelle, I'm not going good at all. I almost killed myself yesterday, but it just didn't happen. The wind didn't blow me off. I said, I planned everything. I went on the balcony, threw myself over. I said, and I couldn't fall. I just couldn't fall, and the wind didn't blow. And she said, right, Maria, do you know Till's number? I said, no. She said, get pen and paper now, Maria, now. Wrote it down. And she said, call them now, and I'm going to call you back. And if you call me back, if I call back and you say you haven't called them, I'm coming and find you, and I'm going to take you to that appointment myself. And I promise, she said, promise me, Maria, promise me you're going to call. And I promised her, and I did call, and I did refer myself straight away. So when she called back in about 20 minutes, I had my first telephone conversation about being admitted and being connected with TILS, which
So
was
so
one
so
of
so 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 Tills, what organization is that?
that is one of the mental health organizations for veterans community service.
Ah,
So yeah, yeah, and I got linked with them that
and you were admitted straight away?
straight away. I was admitted. Yeah,
How long were you with them for?
for 3 years.
Ah,
I'm still with them. I'm on the process where after I get 33 or 34 sessions, then they release you on your own just to see how you cope with every 3-month checkup of how
mm,
you coping, how are things. If I need to refer myself back in, I can
mm,
easily I can do that. But they've changed the name now. It's no longer Tills, it's Up Courage.
mm.
They're calling it Up Courage
And
now.
and and initially then when you went to see them or they came
Yeah.
to see you, whichever, how did that make you feel?
Um I didn't know, I couldn't understand what they were talking about because they kept saying, Marilia, you've got PTSD. And I'm like, well, nobody have never told me that. I said, nobody had never diagnosed me with that. And then they said, well, what do you think caused you to make that decision to want to end your life? I said, well, I got tired. I got tired people telling me that I'm strong and I can handle it. I got tired, just not healing, not getting the support. I just got tired carrying everything for myself or doing everything by myself. And at that time, I couldn't go home because, COVID had
Mm,
come and start. And so
mm,
again, they couldn't come and support. I couldn't go and get support. I was still
mm,
waiting on the surgery. I had nobody to really talk, and everybody who I spoke to, they were like, "You're looking so good, Marilia. Keep going. You're strong. You can make it. You're so strong, and you're so strong." And I'm like, "Just ask me how I'm going, please. Just somebody listen to me. I'm tired. I'm telling you, I'm tired, and you keep telling me no." You're looking good and you're fine and you can make it. You got strong personality. And I'm like, you're not listening to me. I'm telling you that I'm tired.
so that's the first
Yeah.
time somebody identified post-traumatic stress disorder
Yeah.
with yourself.
With me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
considering what you'd experienced on the front line, I mean,
And the front line. And that's when I realized all of these things was, that I never, and um, I've learned as well. That's why I don't willingly talk about things about my service. I
Mm.
don't brag. I don't,
No.
everywhere I go, I don't tell people I served. I just,
Mm.
I'm
Mm.
I'm just Maurillia. I just don't tell anybody,
And
But
I
when
understand that because that's typically of the military person, isn't it? That you don't necessarily talk about
no,
your time, your service,
no,
your
I don't.
experiences.
No, I don't. I just, I'm normal. I'm just normal. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
always normal. As even
yes.
when I was in uniform, Donald, I was never this person to tell
Mm,
anybody. Even
mm,
when I was on leave,
mm.
mommy always, Florine always used to say, she just, how she couldn't understand how I will come home and not even talk about England and not talk
Wow.
about what I did, or how I was exercised, or what courses I've
Mm,
done. She said I would just come home and do like if I just come home and I'm home,
yes, yes.
and and be home, like
Wow.
just do things like if I'm home,
Yeah.
like if England
Yeah.
doesn't exist,
Amazing,
and she,
amazing.
yes. And she
Yeah.
always used to be so amazed at how I come home and I don't get bored. I don't talk about, going back and train. I said, no, I said, I'm home, babe. I said, you, daddy. I said, I'm home. I'm just home. I'm just enjoying being home.
So how do you really feel now?
How do I feel now, Donald? I'm glad I I'm glad I found out that I am a resilient person. I could now confess it. I didn't believe it before, but I'm I've I've learned that I am a resilient person, and I kept I kept pushing that something was definitely wrong, with my legs and with my body, and I pushed until I found this this nerve specialist, and
Mm,
he told me, Marilia, right, it's not all in your head. Um, and he found the issues, and that I needed immediate surgery if there was any hope of ever being able to have a better quality life to what I had before the surgery. So
right, right.
I'm totally glad that I persevered. But
Mhm.
now I think they need to know that they're still messing up with soldiers like myself, because it still have soldiers out there who are homeless, who are committing suicide or thinking about it or having PTSD and don't want to get in touch with anybody, military or any
Mm.
service out there that is there for us. Why?
Yeah,
Because they failed so many times and they continue to fail, and they're not interested in the ones that don't want to say anything, or in the
mm.
veterans that look like myself, and
And
that
that's
we
right.
matter, and that our service matter as well, you know
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I thank you so much for participating in that research with Chester University, because there were quite a few veterans that we together, Chester University, myself and others, interviewed about all of what you talked about there: post-traumatic stress disorder, what happens to you as an individual within the armed force when you're serving, how you got on, you know, and why you left, why you stayed, all of those sort of things. So I'm hoping that the findings will be of benefit to what you've just said there, to
Mm,
improve matters
yeah.
for people that look like
Yes. Yeah.
both ethnic and female,
Exactly.
so that can improve matters, because
Yeah.
the armed forces is there, and is that something that you want to do as an individual like you did? Why shouldn't you
Why
go
shouldn't
and,
you? Yeah.
you know, so, thank you for all this. Thank you for sharing this. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people listening to your testimony that this will help. And I sincerely hope it's been helpful talking about it, because you
No,
know.
Donald, it's been helpful because love, as I said, I'm in such a better place. I'm not saying that I'm there,
Hmm,
and that, I believe sometimes when I say things about myself, and that I don't suffer with the lulls that make me believe that I'm still not good enough. But
hmm.
then I have things now that I can tap into, and grounding techniques where I can hold on to and know that, hold on, Marilia, you are worth it. You are worth it. You know,
Well, let me tell you,
you are worth
we
it.
you sang in front of over 600 people at the funeral of Peter Brown. And I believe every one of them will tell you, after your renditions, that you are more than worth it. And I'm one of them. That was fantastic.
Bless you,
And,
sweetheart.
and I really hope that you've got plans to keep on singing, you know.
Yes, I do. I do, Donald. I do. I do. I want to see how far it can get me, and work on what possibility there is for me in the industry. If even if it's just small gigs, or just to bless people. That's all I want to do. I just want to
Absolutely.
bless them. I just
And
want
that,
to bless people. I don't care if I don't get like Adele, or I don't get like Whitney, or I just want to bless people. Wherever I can bless people, I'm there.
we want our Maurillia, nobody
Yeah,
else. We want our
exactly.
own Maurillia to
Just
sing.
it's
And
just
I'm
just to
telling you,
bless
there'll be
people.
people queuing up to purchase
Oh, bless you,
that.
baby. Bless you.
Honestly,
Yeah,
honestly, honestly,
yeah,
you've got to continue. There's a reason why the good Lord has kept you with all what you've gone
yeah,
through till now.
yeah,
And I believe that you've got a lot of blessing to shed on us, and for people to likewise
yeah.
shed back on you.
Well,
Absolutely
my,
fantastic.
my dad, just the other day, he reminded me again when I had the lull, and he just rang again to say, "Daughter, how are you going?" I said, "Dad, it's tiring. I'm getting negative responses, and putting the CV out. I'm trying. I'm getting stronger physically, but I want to start doing little bits, and it's not happening. And Dad, I don't know." And he's like, "God have you still alive for a reason." I
Yep.
said, "Yes, you keep reminding me of that." And he went,
Yeah,
"Yes,
yeah,
that is what
yeah.
I'm here for. That is what your father is here for."
Absolutely. I'm behind him one. I'm behind him 100%. Absolutely.
And he
So
just
super,
laughed, he
superb,
just laughed.
superb.
And I went, "Thank you,
Yeah,
Daddy." Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
So I am really, really very serious to say that your voice is a blessing to us all.
thank you,
And,
sweetie. Thank you.
I sincerely hope you progress to the point where you release so that we can have something permanent to listen to,
No, no,
you
no, no,
know,
no. That's the plan. That's the
and
plan.
that's a fantastic. And also a career in terms of a job for you so that you can get out
Yeah.
and, into the big wide world, and show the people what you actually have within you, because you've got a lot, you
Thank
know,
you. Thank
and that's
you.
fantastic.
Thank you,
I,
darling.
I'm gonna I'm gonna thank you so much for again
My pleasure.
sharing. Oh
My
my goodness, this is
my
this is
pleasure.
great, great, great. Have you got any questions at all for us
Um,
generations?
Donald, I am privileged to be a part of the generations, because for me, just knowing about the generations, I feel so empowered that we exist, which I didn't know. I didn't know about us.
Yeah,
And to know now that we exist, it's such an honor to know that I'm not alone. I know I said it before, but now I know I'm saying it with evidence and
mm,
empowerment that I'm so glad I am not alone.
fantastic. And to have you to be a member of the forgotten generations, it is just so fantastic, because this is what it's all about, bringing out stories like yours to the front line, because who knows, you know, especially with us, a minority, ethnic,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
the color of our skin, whatever you want to put
Yes.
on there.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
need to know that we are a member of the society, just like
Exactly.
anyone else, and
I
we
get it.
contribute. We contribute greatly. So
More
we
than
should get
more than others. More
absolutely,
than
and so
others. More
so
than
we
others.
should. You should get the respect you deserve
More
in the
than others.
defense of the nation,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the point of almost losing your life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness. I
Yes.
want to thank you. I want to thank you personally, you know,
Yes.
for your service. And you've done an
Thank you.
example. Excellent job. Excellent job. So, Maurillia, thank you once again. This
My
is
pleasure, Donald.
the end of part 2. And I'm sure we will catch up. I'm looking forward to come to your concert where I'm sitting there in the Royal
Okay.
Albert Hall listening to you sing.
Oh, nice. Nice. Good. Good. I can see it. I can see it.
Absolutely,
It's happening.
absolutely,
It's gonna
absolutely.
happen. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen,
yeah, yeah.
darling. Yeah.
Super,
It's gonna
super.
happen.
Yeah,
So
so thank you very, very much again.
yes.
And many, many blessings going forward. All
Thank you
right.
ever so much. And to you as well.
Okay, take care.
You too, Kay.